So let's see if we can finish the Sicha. Left off in the middle where the Rebbe was saying that there's a need to increase in Simcha for the sake of bringing Mashiach. And he says throughout all the generations, Jews always anticipated and waited for Mashiach impatiently. Certainly the tzaddikim and the leaders of the Jewish people, they had even a greater desire for Mashiach, as I mentioned the other day, and the gaguim to the coming of Mashiach with great intensity. Many of them gave away their lives, trying to push the envelope, even though it wasn't really permitted, as the Gemara says. Nonetheless, it doesn't come close to the storm that my father-in-law made when he made this famous Kol Kaireh. It means an announcement. It's this worldwide announcement, proclamation that was printed in his sefer called, in his booklet, Hakriya v'Hakadusha. And there's a whole history behind that, but skip that. And he said that it's now time for La'alter l'tshuva, immediately tshuva should be done, and La'alter l'geula. Later on in the Sicha, the Rebbe is going to say that every single Jew has done tshuva already. Doesn't mean you can sit back and relax and start continuing to do what you did before. It just means that the Rebbe is saying that tshuva is not anymore an obstacle, an impediment for the coming of Mashiach. It has been done. Every single Jew in the world, at least once in their lifetime, had a hearer tshuva, a thought, I better change. And that's all that's required for the coming of Mashiach. Not for your own personal experience, but for the coming of Mashiach, what's holding back is sitting and doing nothing. But if a person has this hearer tshuva, hearer means a thought that you have to shape up and improve, and you're really bothered by it, that itself, says the Rebbe, not one single Jew in the world has not had that. It's incredible for the Rebbe to say anything like this. He says a little later in the Sicha, we'll get there. Then the Rebbe says, don't call this pushing the envelope, called Dechikas HaKates. Kates means the end of the Golus, Kates, Kuf Tzadik, Kates. And Dochek means to push, make it happen, force it to happen. It's not like that anymore because we're so far away from the time when the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, and the time for Mashiach has already arrived. It's being delayed. It's not like we're pushing him to come before the right time. We finished the entire Avodah. All that has to be done to bring Mashiach has been done. What's only left is to polish the button, so to speak, and that has been done also in a different Sicha. The Rebbe, not long after this Sicha, the Rebbe said, and even the polishing of the buttons, which is minor, has also been accomplished. If you keep on polishing it too much, the button can be pulled off. So you don't want to over polish them. That has been polished, meaning that even the small minor things have been done. Everything is ready for Mashiach to come. There's nothing holding back except for ourselves not being ready and not wanting it. Mashiach is waiting for us to want and scream that we can't live without him. The Rebbe spoke that Sicha, Chav Ches Nisan. I'm giving it over to you. And you can see the Rebbe's, his heart was so heartfelt. He was saying, how is it possible? How is it possible for it to be, so in Yiddish, it should be okay. The Mashiach hasn't come today, and not even tomorrow, not even the day after tomorrow. How many of us really don't go to sleep at night? Can you believe it? Another day went by, he's not here. Well, that's what the Rebbe lives with. Just like you have your own personal needs, and if it doesn't work out so well, sometimes you can't sleep at night. Parnassus not going well, other things are not going well, Shidduchim not going well. Whatever, everyone knows what they have in mind, and that's your personal. The Rebbe has the whole Klal Yisrael on his shoulders, and not bringing Mashiach is a failure. So he's asking us, how can you just sit so cold? Kaltblutig is in Yiddish, cold-blooded, and not desire and not allow, not allow Hashem to just allow a day to go through. How come you're not screaming? And if people would scream with an emes, Mashiach would have been here a long time ago. He's waiting for the real, truthful scream. And I believe when the Rebbe said, I'm giving over to you, what he meant is, I'm giving over my intolerance of Golus and my passion for Geula to all of you. But you could always choose not to use that energy. But I'm giving that energy over to you. Start wanting it and really wanting it. Not as an escape route for other problems that we have, but really wanting that once and for all the emes should be revealed to the world. Well, now we can start. Okay, okay. So on page 628, or you have it 268, I think, in the middle of the second column. I'm going to go quickly now. In many generations prior to the previous Rebbe, were done, special things were done. To bring Mashiach. Koilel included Rabbi Yochanan, especially the Giloy of Chassidus, which is the prerequisite for Mashiach. It's Chassidus of the Baal Shem Tov, as the Baal Shem Tov writes in his holy letter. His response to Melech HaMashiach when he asked Melech HaMashiach, when are you coming? Amos like Osimar, when is our teacher, the ultimate teacher, coming? And he answered, when your wellsprings, the wellsprings of Chassidus, of the Baal Shem Tov's teachings, will become widespread outward. Wellsprings is the word. Says the Rebbe, if that's true in the time of the Baal Shem Tov, Baal Shem Tov didn't reveal Chassidus in a way where it was so internalized, so understood and absorbed rationally, but rather was sort of like more emunadik. And especially when you get to the Alter Rebbe's Chassidus, where it could be comprehended. The word is yisparnasun, parnasa. Parnasa means sustenance, but like food. Food you take in and what you eat is what you are, right? So when you learn, you can learn something, yeah, it sounds wowish, but I don't really understand it. But Chabad Chassidus is meant to be understood. It was meant to be understood. It wasn't meant just to believe. That was the Baal Shem Tov giving you a inspiration of chayis, of belief, and the Alter Rebbe added, connect that with your intellect. Don't let your intellect be an obstacle. Don't put your intellect to sleep. Your seichel was created not to be done away with, but rather to be a useful tool to come closer to Hashem. Although usually seichel sometimes cools people off. You ask too many questions. Why? How do I know? Maybe this, maybe that. Fakest doubts. The Alter Rebbe connected intellect with things that are super rational, like emunah. And that's called parnasa. We can live with, we can get sustained with what we learn. Hainu loirak bo'efen on page 629 or 269, what is it, 269? Hainu means loirak bo'efen shel dipa b'levad. Not only a little droplet coming from a wellspring, and the Rebbe says here furthermore that it's not just a wellspring of water that has been revealed, but rivers and lakes and rivers and oceans of Chassidus have been revealed. Famous muscle with the crown jewel, that it's crushed into tiny fragments, so tiny you can mix it with water, you pour it down the prince's mouth, and the prince, who's very sick, is saved. And much more than that one little droplet has been given to all the Jewish people, thanks to all the Rabbeim. When we door to door from generation to generation, it becomes more and more. We're spreading the wellsprings outward through our teachers, our Rebbes, our leaders, until our generation, which is the generation of my father-in-law. He started this idea of spreading the wellsprings outward in a level of incomparable to the previous his predecessors. To bring Chassidus, the purity of Chassidus, the wellsprings themselves, not watered down. Every single place on the face of the earth, throughout the whole world, the whole Katzvei table, all besides every place in the globe of planet Earth. Ad lechutza, until outward, not just outward, outside of maybe the Chabad quarters of 770 in Brooklyn. We're talking about an outside where you can't go any further outside. Where there's no further outside. Places that are so bereft of Yiddishkeit, forget about Chassidus. Even there, and especially through the translation, the previous Rebbe was the first Rebbe to translate Chassidus in different languages. The Rebbe continued. Now we have it in Braille for people that are blind. There's also Chassidus in Braille.
No way. Wow.
Yeah.
What?
It's years ago already. Yeah, the Rebbe's out there.
It's like,
I know.
dots, that's-
Right. Chassidus in Braille, they have Chassidus in almost every language now, translated and taught. And the Rebbe had Tanyas printed in everywhere in the world where there's Jews, everywhere. There are thousands of new editions of Tanya ever since that started in 1984. The Rebbe started saying, let's print the Tanya in that, not printing a Tanya in Brooklyn and bring it there. Print it in that location. Let them have it. It should be their Tanya. It should come from those places. These are places that are, like a wilderness, a spiritual wilderness. Places like Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota. There's probably more Jews on Eastern Parkway than there is in both Dakotas and Montana together. but every place, not one single area in the world, everywhere.
Even like Afghanistan, they like build a printer.
Afghanistan, in the middle of the war, don't worry about Chabad is there in the middle. There's nothing that's too dangerous. But the soldiers are there. The Chabad soldiers are there. In the middle of wars, during the 6-Day War, during the Yom Kippur War, Chabad was there in very dangerous places. And that's what brought the soldiers close to Chabad. Wow, you guys are unbelievable. You care for us to the extent of risking your own lives. I said, Chabad, I'm going to get off on a tangent here a little bit. I got to tell you something. You mind if I tell you this?
Go for it.
Go for it. It's I have a brother who's not the brother in Buffalo, another brother who's in South Jersey, and he has he's a chazan in the shul there, and the shul is a Martin Orthodox rabbi, Polish rabbi, went to college to become a oratory skills, to speak well. He is a good speaker, but it hasn't grown. He has his 50, 60, 70 balabatim, and that's it. The last 25 years, 30 years. Then there's a shliach who can hardly speak English. I mean, speak well at all when he first came. Now he's a good speaker. He's mamash shlomazel in talking, saying and pronouncing English words wrong. And guess what? I mean, the places are busted open. He's unbelievable. He's so successful that he doesn't know what to do. He just built a brand new building, a square block, and there are 800 people in the summer that come to daven every chakras, and it's growing and growing and growing. So what's the secret? And this rabbi can't figure it out. This guy didn't went to college altogether. Forget about that. In high school, probably also not. And he's a rabbi, and these people are educated people, and they like him. What's going on? What's the secret over here? So what was the answer? The pilot versus the surgeon. How come when you go for a surgery, especially a serious one like cardiology or brain surgery, God forbid, you don't just go to anyone. You ask for recommendations, right? But when it comes to a pilot, you ask, how many times have you flown? You know the name of the pilot? Trust him? Just walk on the plane. Why? What's the answer? Because if the plane, if something happens, the pilot also goes down with you. The surgeon doesn't go down with you. He continues. Chabad shluchim are pilots. We're not here just to give you a speech, a lecture. We are your mentors. You shall listen to us. And we close shop at 5 o'clock, 5 p.m., 9 to 5. We're not like that. We're here with you 24/7. Call us in the middle of the night. You have an emergency. We are here. We are, it's like it's a pilot. We go down with you, up with you, or down with you. So, but how do we get to become pilots? What's the engine behind that ability? That's the Rebbe. The Rebbe gives us the strength to be not just teachers, mentors, but to actually care about the people that you are, helping. Okay. You here? Okay. Right there. So the Rebbe says, look what has happened. So much of Chassidus has been revealed throughout these 7 generations. However, the Rebbe says, throughout all the generations, until my father-in-law spread that proclamation of immediately Mashiach should come, even during his early days, the main emphasis was not on Mashiach so much, it was on how to bring Mashiach. It was spreading the well springs. You were still on the journey. When you're on a journey, you don't really think about your destination so much. Talk about other things that are important for the journey. When you finally land, you land on, plane lands. We're here. Wow, we're here, actually here. Then you don't talk about the things that relate to the journey. Now you're talking about your destination. That's what started in the previous Rebbe times. But it takes, even then has stages. You get off the plane, but you're still not home. And then you arrive home base. So where's Mashiach? He's behind the curtain. He's right there. He's waiting for you to ask and demand, not just, want to talk to us? Okay, we'll let you talk. We're talking to ourselves right now. You want to interrupt? You can interrupt. That's not what he wants. That's not what he's waiting for and what Hashem is waiting for. Hashem will give Mashiach the green light to reveal himself when he sees that we're actually ready. It doesn't have to be everyone ready. Lubavitch has to be ready because we are the frontline soldiers. I can never tell you another story. The frontline soldiers, you bet, and you're so much Hasidus and all these Rebbes that we've had for 7 generations. There was a higher demand, a higher level of expectations versus those that are out there that have not been exposed to Hasidus They might know a lot from people, but they haven't been exposed to the to the real juice. Right there. So all that was until my father-in-law, last paragraph on the page 269. When my father-in-law, the leader of the generation, came out with this proclamation, the Al Tshuva, Al Gula, and he keeps on going. Wow, that's until this very day. The Rebbe is saying he's still doing it. I'm just his agent. Al Pi Tzivu Yevahiros Chayk Vishmechat Morna Sidareno. Just like over there, when he was down here in this world, he was serving us. So too, even now that he's not here anymore, it's after Yeshvat, Tafshin Yud, 1950. Nonetheless, he's continuing to be with us. The Hadgasha is on the bringing of the Geula, not on that which leads to the Geula, but the Geula itself. Every single activity that we do today, including spreading the well springs outward, our whole life is lahavi as Mashiach Tzidkenu. Kol yemei chayecha, as it says, all the days of your life, lahavi yemaisa Mashiach, is to bring Mashiach, to be devoted for that purpose. In footnote 51, the Rebbe says that the yeshiva, the boys' yeshiva, Tamchit Mimim, which also includes, of course, all the other yeshivas, including girls' schools, was instituted that year, that very same year of the previous Rebbe's Chasana. The Rebbe Hashem to the following words in the middle of the wedding: I hereby am kindling the luminaries of the Baal Shem Tov and the Rebbes that followed him. They bequeath to us this power, this energy, that we should be able to fulfill the promise, have the promise fulfilled of Yafutza Ma'asecha Chutza, to fulfill that promise and to hasten the coming of Mashiach. He said that right in the middle of the wedding of his son, previous Rebbe, in 1920, what year was that? That was 1897. Yeah. Says that Rebbe further, page 630. Many years have passed by since that proclamation, tens of years, and Mashiach is not yet here. And there's no explanation for this. Our sages have said all the deadlines, or Rebbe does not like the word deadline, due dates. All the due dates for Mashiach have come to an end. Kol hakitzin. Words of the Gemara. In the time of the Gemara already it says this. And our Rebbe has announced the Kol Kordei with a very powerful voice and scream, that which the fact is that we have to do tshuva. He mentioned tshuva as a prerequisite. Here are the words that I mentioned before. Bevadai, the third paragraph on page 12, 260? 230, I'm sorry, 230. The third paragraph in the middle. Also tshuva, for it is so, with one little thought of tshuva, that person becomes a tzaddik gomer, even if his tshuva is incomplete. There is no single Jew living amongst the Jewish people that has not had many, not one, but many thoughts of tshuva. Of course, we get weak and we fall back, but everyone has done at least once in their lifetime, and many, in fact, not once, everyone, every single Jew, there's no single Jew in the world that has not done have a thought of tshuva many times in their life. Certainly, I'm going to go quickly. After Rosh Chodesh Elul, where we began to bless each other with the Chesiva Table and Shana Table Masukah, and that year was Tafshim Mem Ches, leading into Tafshim Mem Tes. What's Tafshim Mem Tes stand for? Tashmate, which means like Shemitah, cancel all loans. We owe Hashem a lot. Shemitah, when you owe someone a lot of money, during Shemitah, you're not allowed to ask for it back, even though the money is still owed. The creditor has an obligation not to ask for it. In fact, if the borrower says, I want to pay you, he says, I'm not allowed to ask for it. Okay, I know that, but I want to give you anyways. Then you can accept it. But from the malveh is the creditor, his vantage point, he's not allowed to start asking for it. It's as if it's gone. As if, but not mama's gone. He didn't forgive completely. He didn't say it's canceled. He said, I don't have the power or the right to ask for it. Hashem likewise. follows that rule every now and then, and that was Tafshin Memtes, Tashmate, like Shemitah. He says, the Rebbe says that Hashem will forgive the loans, forgive all the credit, and rely on the fact that we'll continue in the future to be okay. He's not going to ask for payback. The next part of the Sicha, the next paragraph, is Tehillim b'David Malka Mashiach. We've said Tehillim so many times, and with continuity, consistently. We have so many Farbrengens. So much of Chassidus has been revealed and spread throughout the world. More than 7 generations. And we've accomplished unbelievable amount. Even if it's true that we can accomplish more, okay, I agree. So bring Mashiach and we'll accomplish more. It says when Mashiach will come, we'll really be doing what Hashem wants. Now we can't really do exactly what Hashem wants. We don't have we're missing a few of the, goals. It's hard. Bring Mashiach and then we'll be able to accomplish much more. The Rebbe is talking to Hashem over here. He's saying, okay, you want more? Balls in your court. That's what he was saying. There are several Sichas where we heard the Rebbe talking to God. It was unbelievable. Middle of a bring, the Rebbe cried. I'll never forget the Tu B'Shvat Tafshin Lamates. I better hurry up here. Tu B'Shvat Tafshin Lamates, 1979, Tu B'Shvat was an unbelievable Farbrengen. The Rebbe started saying that what the hardest thing is when we stop, we look, we're looking for Hashem. No, we're looking, we're asking, where are you? Mezuch, the Rebbe's words, I'm saying it in Yiddish. And then the Rebbe broke down like a baby crying. And we stopped looking. And it was so hard to hear. He was mamish crying like a child. And he took, he's a person who cares. Can you imagine caring so much about the Geula? And then he says in the middle of the Sicha, Sunday gesuch, Monday gesuch, Dienstag went through all the days of the week. We foolish here. We're only human beings. What do you want from us? You gotta hear it. You hear that. You could hear that. It'll melt your heart to hear it. You could get it. You can see it online. It's Tu B'Shvat, 1979. Look it up. It's unbelievable. They said the Rebbe went to the outskirts of the city, I think, to take fresh air after that Farbrengen. But I'll never forget that. I was there, and he was crying like was having a conversation with one. We overheard the conversation. We were eavesdropping on the conversation. A few other times, what I can mention, but I'm not going to go through all the times. Here's another one. It seems like he's saying, so bring Mashiach and we'll have the ultimate. Then we'll really do what you want. We tried very hard. We're doing as best as we can in Golas. Now it's your turn. That's all the more reason, God, you should bring Mashiach faster. So the question is, what more can we do? That's the next. The Imkain, Neshewas Hashayla. Look at the question mark, exclamation mark. Ma'oid lasais. What more can we do that we have not done until now? So much has been done. What are we missing? So the Rebbe says one thing that has not been completed is Simcha, joy. The joy, not just any joy, but the joy, pure, unadulterated joy to bring Mashiach. That's what's missing. In addition to the fact that Simcha breaks all barriers, including the barriers of Golos, Segula has a special, Simcha has a special Segula, special is like an amulet that can bring Mashiach, as explained in that mimer we mentioned the other day, Samach l'Samach, that Beis Hamikdash is a place just called Simchas Libay, the Hashem's heartfelt joy. And the heartfelt joy of the Beis Hamikdash of the first two are incomparable to the joy that Hashem has with the third Beis Hamikdash, will have. So Simcha, when we have a Simcha, it triggers the Maila that Hashem should start having his Simcha, the Simcha of the Geula. Okay. We also mentioned before, Simcha, the same letters as Mashiach, except with the Hey versus the Yud. And then we had Peretz. Peretz is, of course, Simcha Peretz means to break through, to shatter. And Mashiach comes from the son of Yehuda called Peretz. We mentioned that before already. So the Rebbe says, even though there have been people have had Simcha in their mitzvahs doing in the previous generations, on page 261. But after Bavadai, next page, but the Simcha was not the main ingredient. The main thing was avoid serving God. Simcha was just an enhancer. You were busy serving Hashem, but the Simcha was like the salt in the food. You don't think about the salt. You think about, salt adds. but it's not what you're eating. You're eating whatever you're eating or drinking. Not drinking, eating. You have some chicken soup, you put some salt in it, now I can eat the chicken soup, but you're not eating salt. So then the simcha was like salt. It was an enhancer, condiment, but it wasn't the focus. He says, now we have to make simcha the focus, not simcha to add inspiration in your mitzvahs. We need pure, unadulterated simcha, joy, being happy, and lebedik, full of chayis. And of course, with that lebedikite, to ask for Mashiach. Joy. It's the motto of Chabad. The Chassidus, but Chabad is to always look for the positive, not for the negative. Now, the Rebbe says further on, so how come all these generations, how come it wasn't done until now? This is what's the key to bring Mashiach. Why was it not done earlier? The Rebbe says because it was just too hard. There was so much going on in the world, so many tragedies and difficult things. I mean, you can't ask as a person, we're limited. You can't be happy when there's so much horrible, horrific things that are going on outside of us. Persecutions, everything. But now, what about now? You're thinking, yeah, now it's so much better. There's obstacles now, but now we have no choice. And that's a sign that Hashem is giving us the strength to overcome all the obstacles that impede on our simcha and to be joyous nonetheless. He says, concerning the hardships of Golus, Hashem gives special koiches that we should be able to be the simcha, pure simcha. Then he says at the end, try it and you will see. The words that I'll be using on the next page, 262, the third paragraph. Adarabba, Yinasu, try it, and v'yavaku, and you will see. It'll be proven that it works. Guess people haven't tried it yet. Now, the Rebbe says that the most auspicious time for this is Yud Gimel Elul. The day after Yud Gimel Elul, which is the previous Rebbe's wedding, as mentioned before, it's 30 days before Sukkot, and we're at the end of the most incredible year, the year of Tismach, which was a very Hatzlachadika year. There were gatherings of all kinds of gatherings of men, women, and children. They went to public schools all over the world. And thousands, tens of thousands of children were exposed to Hakel. While it was a Hakel year. Following this year, Memches was a Hakel year. Mentioned the other day what I think Hakel is all about, why the Rebbe was so enthusiastic about Hakel. I didn't finish the thought.
We need the conclusion.
So you can take it or leave it. It's just my own stomach issues that I decided to cough up. I don't know if it makes any sense or not, but this is what I'm thinking. There is no mentioning of Hakel as a year. It doesn't say in the 8th year, the year after. It says it's almost like Motzei Shabbos. The year as the year of Shemitah, the first Yontif afterwards. The way the Torah describes Hakel is like a continuation, a hemshich to Shemitah. It's almost like a Malava Malka type situation. Shabbos, you have a Malava Malka, you're still living with Shabbos. Well, Shemitah is a year where, first of all, we take a sabbatical, not so much involved in business anymore, because those days the business is mainly agriculture, and you can't plant, you can't plow, you got to rely on what you had in last year's produce. And then it's not yours, you have to make it hefker for everyone. And then the land, how is the land supposed to, I mean, usually after 6 years of planting and plowing, the land is at its weakest. And Hashem will say, that's what you think. I will show you that I'm the boss. First of all, I'm your boss. And I'm the boss of the land. And everything you own really is mine. Just a reminder, remind yourself that everything belongs to me. I control nature and I control your lives too. So focus on that during Shemitah. It's like a Shabbos. But it also tells me it's the 7th generation. Shemitah reminds us of the 7th generation. Now, not all of us here, none of us here, just ever saw the Rebbe, ever witnessed a Fabrangen, got $1, none of you, right? And the Rebbe foresaw a possibility of a Gimel Tammuz occurring. The Rebbe is the 7th generation. The Rebbe was foreseeing the aftermath. It's still the 7th generation, but the Hakel is like, what's Hakel all about? Tell your children, give them the feeling of Matan Torah over again. So I believe the Rebbe wanted The Hakel year is the year, gather kids, gather all the children, all the students that never saw the Rebbe before. You did. You were there. But there might be a generation that will say, we weren't there. We don't know what it is. Tell us. That's what Hakel is all about. It's the hemshich of Shemitah. Gather as many students as possible and speak with fervor, speak with chayis. Tell stories about your first-hand relations with the Rebbe. Make them feel as if they know the Rebbe too. Just like Matan Torah. Make them feel as if they were present at the giving of the Torah when you were. That's what Hakel is all about. To reminisce and feel that it's alive again. This is my own thought. But every single Hakel, every single post-Shemitah year, coming up this next year is post-Shemitah, the Rebbe got more and more involved. The last one, the Tavshim Memches, whoa! The Rebbe was like, I told you this, the Simcha, it was like unbelievable. And the Rebbe, if someone asked the Rebbe, such a happy year, oh yeah? The Rebbe passed away that year. What's so happy about that? The Rebbe got very serious and he said, you don't know what her passing prevented. You have no idea. What her passing prevented.
What is prevented?
Monea. Her passing, her histalkut, her passing, without her passing, a lot of not good things could have happened. You'd have no idea where her passing prevented from happening. The Rebbe said about the Rebbetzin, when they were asking, someone asked, I heard she was, first they asked what she passed away from. The Rebbe said from an Inyan Panini, not from the things you think. It wasn't from a sickness, it was from something higher. And they said, I heard she was a very great person. The Rebbe said, only God knows her greatness, including himself, excluding himself also. Only Hashem knows her greatness. So you can imagine how the Rebbe felt losing her. Rebbe would come home every day and have tea with her, connect. And that's what what's it called? That maid that was there, African-American maid that came to the dollars. You heard what she said to the Rebbe? She started crying in front of the Rebbe. Everyone thought she's crying because the Rebbe passed away. This was right after the Rebbe. She said, I'm passing away. The reason why I'm crying is not because of her passing, because when the Rebbe would come home, he would come home with the whole world on his shoulders. It was so heavy. The only person in the world that calmed him down was the Rebbe. Now she's gone. Who's going to calm him down? These are words. It's powerful. From a non-Jewish person saying that, she saw the Rebbe's a load on his shoulders. Cares? Every single Jew is on his shoulders. Everyone, no one excluded. And I bet you it's not just that, it's this generation too. Every one of you here is all included. These are all neshamas. These are neshamas Yisrael, powerful souls. And to the Rebbe, it's part of his life. He doesn't have a personal life. His personal life is his public life. That's his personal life. Doctor said when the Rebbe had a heart attack, he doesn't understand what it means to care about himself. His whole self is just caring about others. The question is, which people should I work on first? He almost have no personal life. Nobody can understand that. People don't understand these things. Not rebellion. So anyways, to finish the Sicha, I want to finish the Sicha. So the Rebbe says like this. Listen in. So we're at the end of the year of Tismach, this unbelievable year of Simcha. It was B'Hatzlacha. Please continue it, at least through the end of the year. And then he says, he's a bracha, that the Avodas HaSimcha B'Shvil HaHavis Mashiach Tiyeh HaPu'ula HaAchrona should be the last action, the last activity during Golus. As we're going out, the name of the parsha is Kiseiti Lamlacham Al Levecha. The war, not a war to bring Mashiach, the fight against Amalek, who is the end of the Sedra, the beginning of the Sedra, the end of the Sedra. This week's parsha begins with a war and ends with Amalek. Timcha Ezecher Amalek. And right now, I have to tell you, there's a very big war out there that's called Milchames Amalek. There's an anti-God in the atmosphere. There is a very strong, politically, an anti-God Shita trying to rip out any Judeo-Christian values, as they call it, and to stop believing in a God. And no one can say who you are. You can be whoever you want to be. There's no one. Hefker, just free for all. It's going on right now in the world, in the craziness in this world. It's a mamash amachama of cooling you off and stop believing in a God. Don't believe in God, because if you believe too much in God, then a higher authority, you can't believe too much in them, and they lose their power. These are power monger, hungry people. I'm not going to tell you what I'm talking about. And these people want you to stop believing in a higher authority. That is mamash l'machama of Amalek. Amalek wants to fight against. He knows God very well. He's a big expert on it. He's not like all the rest of the. This is an expert in the knowledge of God, and that's why we are going to fight him, because he's dangerous for our survival. We lose our whole meaning of life if he takes over. It's what's going on right now. The Rebbe mentions here we have to get rid of this coldness, this internal and external coldness, and that's the war of the Chayolei Beis David, the Shluchim, and all of us are Shluchim, to be mevatel, to nullify the darkness of Golos and to bring the Ur Hagula. To bring to your attention that when you go out to war, it doesn't say kisei til milchama imay vecha or lekrasay vecha. It says kisei til milchama alei vecha. If you're not going even-handed with your friend, with your enemy, you are on your enemy. You're fighting from a war that's fought from on high. You feel like di dan notach. We are winners before you even start the war. March of victory before you start. That's how you win wars. And Napoleon's march is what they're saying. After Yom Kippur, at the end of Yom Kippur, they sing Napoleon's march. That song was sung, but the Rebbe gets up on a platform with his house at the end of Yom Kippur. Mamash the last moment, and he starts making with his hands like a mamash. It's unbelievable. 3,000 people jumping up and down. Some black cats too, jumping up and down. Gray hats, black hats, jumping up and down, and the women in the fiber shawl also, jumping up also. It's an incredible sight to see. And the Rebbe is after, in his 80s, after a fast, and his talus almost falls off with the back talus on. What? What'd you say?
Is video of that or no?
Huh?
There is film or no?
Can't be Yom Kippur.
After Yom Kippur, you said.
No, at the end, before Yom Kippur's over, at the end.
Okay.
Still, they haven't done a Myra yet. They haven't even blow shofar yet. Wow, it's. I'm trying to do what I just said before, to share with you feelings. I don't know if I'm doing it. To share with you my experience. It's just unbelievable. There's nothing like it. It's Gili Elokus Mamish. If you want to taste godliness, I taste it every Shabbos.
Wow.
Tasted it, mamish, to see. It's so powerful, so amazing. And I'm not trying to be like, put you on a spell. Behind the Rebbe, you know what happened behind the Rebbe? The older Hasidim were 20 years older than the Rebbe, all falling asleep. Now, that doesn't look too good, right? I remember a guy wasn't too thrilled. He wanted to see what a Parengan is like. He heard this Rebbe is has magic. Maybe he's a cult leader. Who knows what he is? Puts a spell on you. And what did he see behind the Rebbe? All the older Chassidim are falling asleep. One guy's hat fell off. This man is for real. He's not putting any spell on anybody. Look what's happening. They're falling asleep on him. If he would have some magic, he would not let anyone. No one would sleep. How dare you fall asleep? It was, he was smamish. You're old person. Old people fall asleep in the middle. Rebbe wasn't a speaker, a dynamic speaker. Spoke words, words came out, but it's easy to fall asleep. If you're tired, you fall asleep very easily. That happened. You can put any spell on anyone. You have your free choice. You can listen, you can walk out, do what you want. But if you pay attention, it was just an unbelievable experience. We got spoiled. Anyways, finishing up the Sicha.
Robin, where are you on the page?
I'm skipping around all over, but I want to finish
That's
it.
what I thought. Okay. But where are you now?
Right now I'm in class.
Okay.
I'm on the last page now, 633, again.
Yeah. So
273.
Where?
Actually, 272 on the bottom. The very last paragraph of 272. I appreciate that you're trying to follow. I really appreciate that. To bring to your attention, the victory of the war. God will give you. You'll be taken care of. He'll have you taken care of. You're in His hands. This itself is ma'orer, arouses gili hasimcha de etzem hanefesh, of the essence of your soul, similar to the simcha of a marriage, because netzach, the midah of netzach, is rooted very, very deep. That's why only kings really have that. Netzach means I'm not looking to win a war so I can gain more bounty and spoil, and I can gain more land, and because I'll be richer. No, I am gaining. The reason why I'm conquering a land is because there's an opposition, and I will not allow myself to lose a battle. You're fighting for the truth. I will not allow, if there's 1 ounce of sheker in the world, I will fight it to no end. And the stronger the sheker becomes, the stronger I become. That's called midah netzach. Impossible to scare or to, to frighten, to cause, to backtrack. The power of netzach is the stronger, again, the opposition, the stronger you become. Nothing in the world, no calculation will stop me. Nothing. So it's rooted in etzem hanefesh. By certain people, by great people, the need to win is as deep as the need to live. And nothing gets in that way. You'll do anything to save your life. It's not arrogance, by the way. It seems like it, but it's not arrogance. Yes.
Isn't Moshe Rabbeinu like correlate connected to Netzach and like the leader of every generation, like Moshe in every generation? So therefore, like the Rebbe is really the Netzach.
Yeah, in that sense. And that's why when you have Netzach, you squander all your treasures that for many generations you never didn't allow even to open up. Treasures are the powers of divinity that are available. And the king squanders when he wants to win a war. Gashmis, he squanders all those treasures that he so cherished. Never showed to anyone, even himself. He hardly even opened it up. And now he's not only opening it up and giving it, he's squandering it. Give, take, win the war. You're the soldiers, win the war. I'm behind you. You're not going to lose. You're going to win. There's no 2 ways. Win, or either win or you don't lose. There's no losing. It's a win-win. So he says like this on top of the page, last page of the Sicha. Kivon shamidas hanetzach mushreshes. Mushreshes means rooting. Be'etzem hanefesh k'mavur b'kama mekaymes b'prat. Shanitzochin hu ba'open to teitzel ha-melchama sheyotzim yemekayma. You leave your place and walk in to the place of your enemy. You don't stay where you are. You go into the enemy's territory. You're not afraid of the enemy. This exiting into the territory of the enemy has no limits. If you hear there's one place in the world where Hashem's presence is not noticed, and maybe there's an opposition to it, you change that. You fight it and you transform it. You convert it into something positive. That was what brings Simcha, when you not only get rid of it, but you transform it. Take all the negativity and turn it into something positive. That's the Rebbe's motto. Nothing goes to waste. Then the Rebbe says clearly in the next, very last column, we have the 3 mitzvahs that would come before Mashiach: appointing a king, fighting the wars of Amalek, and building the Beis Hamikdash. The same is true in our Avodah as well. Mina Melech means appointing a king. What kind of king are we talking about? Kabbalas Ol, accepting Hashem as your king internally. Then there's fighting the coldness. You're Amalek. We all have Amalekitis. You get cold sometimes, fighting that. And then building our own personal Beis Hamikdash. These are the 3 mitzvahs, by the way, that lead to Mashiach. And it's interesting, very interesting, that the previous 3 Rebbes, Rebbe Rashab's first mimer was about Malchus. Kester, the words of the first mimer of the Rebbe Rashab when he took on the mantle of leadership was, Kester Yidulach, a crown shall be given to you. The previous Rebbe's first mimer was about Amalek. The Rebbe's first mimer, Basilagani, building in the Mishkan. So the last 3 Rebbes that we've had are all related to the 3 mitzvos. In fact, the Rebbe Rashab's last mimer was Amalek. Previous Rebbe's last mimer was Basilagani. So it's like it was a continuation. Okay. And then the Rebbe finished, says here quickly, well, it's like, he says the Simcha should be b'tachas hashleimus, and at the end of the Sicha, the Rebbe got up and sang his father's niggin. He stood up for a long time and clapped, and I was there, I can tell you, I said firsthand what the Rebbe was doing. He stood up like a 14-year-old and jumped out of his seat like and showed a living example of what he meant. That was his, I'm going to show you what I mean by Simcha. Okay, that's it. And we have a Gemara.
A Gemara? Have it?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a Gemara class if you're interested. You want to pass this down? Sorry. These sages of the Mishnah, what are they called? It's a test.
We took like a 2-second break before the next class.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
Jess.
Sure.
You know who is watching the Zoom? There's someone, I don't know who is.